being in the writers' room and working with them. I'm quite a sort of softie, really. I like the family vibe we have around the show and the relationships we have, but one of the few things I'm able to be really tough about, I think, is protecting like the show and its integrity. And the more and more we discussed it in the room, the more and more clear it became to me that this sequence of Logan's death, the competition over whether to sell or not, intersecting with an election.
Macon will be the next president of the United States.
And then his funeral ended with the show ending. And once that became clear, I didn't really have any doubts. I had lots of emotional sadnesses, but it felt like, okay, this is how this show goes.
Hey!
Hey!
Finishing production in Barbados, on the one hand it was magical, on the other hand it was so incredibly sad. The only way I could do it was to be somewhat robotic, actually. I was very, okay, let's do it, because I kept getting hijacked by, you know, all that kind of tsunami of, that's the last time we'll do that, that's the last time we'll do that. And I think the actors felt that as well. There was an odd kind of emotional tension.
We anoint you. You get the bauble.
The counterpoint to that was the lovely scene we call Meal Fit for a King. That sense of recaptured innocence. Kids just being kids, no matter what their income. Everything seemed possible, and yet...
Wear your crown, sir.
Oh, no.
No.
My understanding of the show has always been that it's a tragedy, and therefore every moment of hope like that is so cruel, because you're just waiting for that shoe to drop. You're waiting for their essential natures to be exposed and to break your heart again.
What do you feel about self-pitching me?
Yeah, I can sing for my supper.
The idea of Tom being the eventual successor, that had been something that I thought was the right ending for quite a while now.
Follow the boss. You know, I digest strategy and implement.
Even though he's not exactly the most powerful monarch you'll ever meet, his power, you know, comes from Matsson.
Tom will honestly suck the biggest dick in the room. That's just my assessment.
Love is in the air.
Those figures who drift upwards and make themselves amenable to powerful people are around.
Perfect. It was perfectly painful.
I've thought about all their stories. You know, they don't end, they will carry on. But it's sort of where this show loses interest in them because they've lost what they wanted, which was to succeed, which this prize that their father held out. In a reductive, brutal way, Roman ends up exactly where he started. He is that guy still, and he maybe could have easily been a playboy jerk with some slightly nasty instincts and some quite funny jokes. He could have stayed in a bar being that guy, and this has been a bit of a detour in his life, I would say. Shiv is still in play, I'd say, in a rather terrifying, frozen, emotionally barren place, but she has got this kind of non-victory, non-defeat. I mean, there's going to be some